Whiplash is a very intense movie. Not just a few scenes here and there, no. The movie is somehow able to sustain a bafflingly high level of intensity from the opening image to the final image. I showed this movie to my family the other day, and watching their reactions might have actually been more fun than watching the movie that was causing those reactions. Seeing them looking away, not being able to hold eye contact with the TV from how overwhelming the intensity of nearly every scene is. From the electric performances from the actors to the electric performance from the camera, the movie has an intensity level equal to the intensity level of the actual drumming that the movie is about, which is far from coincidental. And it's this carefully crafted intensity with music and editing that made me have an epiphany of glorious proportions. What if I told you that La La Land is actually not Damien Chazelle's first musical? It's Whiplash.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
The vast majority of movies ever made feature a soundtrack of some kind, an additional layer of audio on top of the natural track of the scene. Music. Designed to heighten the emotions or feelings of the movie beyond what would be possible without music. And so, in the vast majority of movies ever made, the soundtrack is typically considered after the final edit has already been put together by the editors. Music written for the scene once the editors are happy with it. But Whiplash is one of those movies that actually chooses to go the other way in its edit. Because in having the story of Whiplash feature music at its center, almost as if it's a character itself, it was only fitting that director Damien Chazelle used this very music as dictating what could only be described as the tempo of said edit.
Not quite my tempo.
Because why worry about a soundtrack when your movie already has one written into the script? But sir, there's no sing-along scenes in Whiplash. Surely because of this, it's not possibly a musical. Nobody suddenly breaks into a solo as the lights dim and the spotlight shines on them. But is that really what a musical is? Well, yeah, Google says a musical has dancing and has singing, and that songs play an essential part. So maybe technically Whiplash isn't a musical per se, but to me, Whiplash uses music to such an immense degree as an integral tool in the storytelling of the film that I can't help but think it just has to be a musical.
That's exactly my point.
In Whiplash, song is what drives the entire pacing. If we actually look at La La Land, Chazelle's follow-up to Whiplash, a legit musical in the conventional sense, during the actual musical scenes, music takes 100% control over the edit. Everything from the dance of the actors to the dance of the camera is choreographed from the music that was chosen. Every dip and every rise in momentum causing a dip and a rise in everything else, literally acting as a conductor to every single choice that we end up seeing on screen. Whiplash does the exact same thing. La La Land just uses it on a much larger and more stylized scale. Call it a musical or refuse to call it a musical.
Try me, you fucking weasel!
What I'm really getting at here is more about that shift in priority inside the editing room. And the two scenes which demonstrate this the most, the absurdly ridiculous practicing sequence at the school and the ending sequence at the concert, which is borderline a music video, but not in a derogatory sense, in an epic sense.
1, 2, 1, 2. Not even fucking close.
This scene is a masterpiece. The whole movie is. We want Neiman to get the part. We just saw him practice to the point where his drum kit drew blood, but at the same time, it's hard to watch when he does get the part. I'm simultaneously shifting to the edge of my seat and then also shifting in discomfort and also laughing because it's hilarious.
What the fuck are you looking for? There's no pot of gold down there.
And every single time the next drummer is kicked off the kit and the next drummer is brought up to the plate, the tension is only rising and rising as they try to play faster and faster, but can't. The drumming from each player is the soundtrack. And it's not even subtle. Intense drumming for an intense scene. Each short pause from the next player getting kicked off is like a break from the chorus of the song when the next player starts drumming again and J.K. Simmons starts yelling again. Every cut placed in tempo with the music. The shot choices aren't complicated. They're static. Static like the tempo of the music. Uncomfortably static. Which only builds the intensity further, all the way up until
Neiman, you earned the part.
and the intensity of the scene finally hits its climax and dips, only after they've stopped playing the drums. Also, once Neiman gives up drumming for a period of time later on, a period of time without any drumming music in the movie is the only time in the movie that isn't intense. A deliberate pacing choice, a non-metaphorical metaphor to Neiman's state of life, if you will. He's done with his drums, and so is the score. He's quit. Until he doesn't. And the rhythm of the movie picks back up. This ending scene, for various reasons, probably my favorite movie ending ever made, and every single one of those reasons only land because of the way this is edited to the music. It starts from this moment.
You think I'm fucking stupid?
What?
I know it was you.
After Fletcher reveals his true intentions, Neiman still attempts to play the music because he thinks he can still do it, even when he doesn't know the song. But he's not Buddy Rich, and he fails. He fails miserably. He fails miserably in playing the music, which is also the score of our scene. A score better than what any traditional style of score could pull off for a similar moment because of the fact that he is playing it in the movie. So he walks off defeated, the villain of the movie in triumph. But just like that, the script gets flipped, and we're back. Neiman, no longer following Fletcher's cue, puts us on our heels. But we're not back in the same way we were in the rehearsal room. It's not a static drumming rhythm that builds tension anymore. It's wild now. The music is all adrenaline, and so because this is a musical, the camera and the cut bow down to the music. Cutting to beat. Flying around. Rather than the music designed to serve the edit in building the emotion of the scene, it's the edit serving the music to build the emotion of the scene. What came first, the chicken or the egg? The music or the cut? Most movies choose to cut first, a choice which ends up oftentimes limiting what the scene can achieve since the music must now be constrained. What if we instead let music be and cut with it in a similar harmony to Neiman and his drums? Because if Whiplash teaches us one thing about filmmaking, it's this. Because as Neiman continues to drum,
Best motherfucking solo the world has ever heard.
the movie itself becomes a song of its own, a song named Whiplash.